A field watch updated for the 21st century? Let's have a look. Dave Taylor here, and I'm looking at this. This is the Bertucci field watch. This is the A-2T NATO model 12075. And what they did is really cool. They took the basic design of World War II and Vietnam era military issue watches, and they updated all of the components and internals for a modern watch. So the design itself is a classic field watch. Now, field watches were designed for the military so that they could see what time it was super fast in pretty much any crummy weather or anything. So that was their only purpose in life. And here's what's interesting is that the original field watches from the 1940s and 50s and 60s were pretty small. They were just little tiny watches. So this is actually bigger than a standard military issue field watch. This is a 40 millimeter dial, and the originals were somewhere between 30 and 36 millimeters. So, you know, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, the modern style is to have a massive face, that is not a field watch. If you get that, then they're just having some fun with the design, but it's not more traditional. And again, this is not traditional per se, but it does have a lot of elements of a classic field watch. Now, the case itself is solid titanium, and like I said, it's a 40 millimeter dial with a hardened sapphire crystal, and the internal is a Swiss all-metal quartz movement with luminous hands and markers. Now, in the dark, it only lasts a certain amount of time, as with the luminosity on any of these sort of watches. But here's the thing, the battery, you put a battery in this, it lasts 5 years. That's a long time to have your watch where you don't have to worry about winding it. You certainly don't have to do that Apple Watch thing of putting it on a little charging stand every night. 5 years, this thing's gonna go great. And here's what else is really nice, is it's water resistant to 100 meters, which is over 300 feet. Now, it's not a dive watch. It doesn't give you like timers so you make sure you don't run out of oxygen or anything. So if you're really diving, use a dive watch. But if you wanna just be able to swim or snorkel or just go and have fun in water, this is actually a nice, tough watch. But here's what I really like about it. This is a really cool band. This is what they call the B-type Zulu or NATO band, and it's a nylon band. And again, the original military issue watches had cotton bands, so upgrading to nylon is good. But as you can see, it has a lot of these different sort of rings, and it's just the way that it all fits through and the way the nylon has been finished is really cool. It's a really nice, comfortable watch. And also one thing I like is that this is solid titanium. These bars aren't going to break because the watch strap actually goes all the way across the back of the watch. I like that design. I think that's really cool. So it fits really nicely. It's very comfortable. It is obviously highly durable and tough, and with its solid titanium case, this is not going to be anything you're going to have to worry about dinging up or anything. And you know, there's lots of color options. There are a ton of different colors for the bands if you want to try actually a different setup than this. This is just sort of a classic military olive and gray and everything. So this is definitely my preference. And if we look closely at the face, you can see it is, again, a classic field watch with a 24-hour indicator. So if someone says to you, we're going to meet at 1900 hours, you don't have to sit there and do the math. You can actually just look on the inner dial and try to figure out where 19 is, which you see is by the 7. So nice, simple design. There's no timers, there's no alarms, there's no notifications of email. It is just a watch, and that's very nice. Now, only thing left to talk about is the price, but before we get there, if I can ask, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that, and give me some feedback. Do you have a field watch? Do you have one from maybe your dad or grandpa from when they were in the military service, or mom or grandma or something, but more generally it's going to be a guy. And what do those look like? So, you know, this is, as I said, you go and look online and check out the history of field watches. This is a pretty classic design. Bertucci's done a very nice job with this, which leads us to the price. So this is the Bertucci A-2T NATO model 12075, and it will cost you $219. You can check it out at Amazon.com. I have become a real fan of this watch, and I gotta say, I really like the field watch design because I have so many watches that are so complicated. Indeed, all the little tiny things are called complications, right? Well, it makes it more complicated to see what time it is. So having something this simple is a watch that everyone can appreciate and that you'll always know exactly what time it is. I gotta say, it's a win for me. I'm gonna put it back on my wrist, which means that as soon as I get this done, are you still with me? You still watching? So, see, put it on, put it through these loops. Such a cool system, look at that. So, once I have it on, that means we're done, which means I'll catch you in my next video.